Bonjour. Hello. Welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 8 of our full walkthrough of the game. Last time, we went through the open world of Caelid, notably beating Starscourge Radahn, and doing the quest line for Gowry and Millicent up until the point where we need to head into Altus. Now, we did not do Dragon Barrow, but that has higher scaling, so we will do that later. For now, we can head over to the Starfall Crater that appears after beating Radahn. You will see these giant floating rocks in the sky. Just head to the right of those in order to find the walkable path down. Here you'll get a message from Blythe. You can go to the Bloodhound or Forlorn Hound Everjail, and also to EG to get more dialogue from Blythe and EG. Though that is optional, you don't have to do that. And so I'm going to be continuing down into this, not really a legacy dungeon, not really an open world section, but this underground region. Here you get the pop-up for Nokron Eternal City, and we can start making our way down. Here, if you jump and start holding the sprint button in midair, you can start sprinting without having to do a little backstep first. And doing these few jumps gets you the Ghost Flame Torch. This is like the normal torch, but it burns blue. So just a unique aesthetic. From there, we can drop down, and here you'll find one of the main enemies of the area. Just these silver tears. They can sometimes turn into different enemies, but for the most part, they're very simple, very easy to kill. Here you can get a rune arc, and from there, there's not a whole lot for a little bit, but we can just continue on until we find something else of note. Here, if you take a left, you'll find a Smithing Stone 5. And then right at this item, if you walk, you can safely drop down here. Just past that group of enemies, you'll find this set of grace. This being Nokron Eternal City. From there, you can head straight out where next to this gazebo you will find the Ghost Glowwort Picker's Bell Bearing 1. This allows you to purchase Ghost Glowwort 1, 2, and 3. From there, from the Site of Grace, you can head down the stairs and loosely hug the right wall, as that's a pretty good way to hit basically all of the items. Now, it will increase the time, but right there, Ghost 3 and 4. But I want to have as little editing as possible. You can go through there for progress. But I want to have as little editing as possible in this run, just so you can see where I'm going, in order to hopefully make it harder for you to get lost. But there we picked up a larval tier, allowing you to respec at Ralana, or Ranala. I'm very bad with names. But continuing on. Here you get the Great Shield Soldier Ashes. Humble, but defensive. Here you get a Smithing Stone 5. Here you can get another 2 Ghost Glowwort 3s. And then you can continue on down this little path of progress. Continue sticking to the right side. There's an item, and if you go down the stairs, you will run into an enemy. It can be fairly dangerous. So I like to jump off to the side. Here, if you can avoid that trap, you can get another larval tier. Then off to the side, there's a golden rune and a little vista of somewhere we're going to end up later. And just at these drops, somewhat hidden, is a rune arc. And then a giant fog door. Now this is mimicked here. What they do is they copy your build exactly. So you can very easily cheese them just by doing this. And there's not much they can do about it. Once they do that little whoosh animation, you can throw your normal weapons back on. And it completely trivializes the fight. If you want to have an honorable 1v1, you can, there's nothing stopping you. Just thought I'd show this, as it does make the fight much easier. Upon defeating them, you will get 10,000 runes, 2 larval tiers, and the silver tier mask. That being a headpiece that increases your arcane stat by 8 points, though it does lower your physical damage. With them dead, we can continue forward across this bridge. There will be a scarab. Killing them gets you a Somber Stone 5. then just past this giant arch, to the left, there will be a path headed downwards. So, you want to head northwest towards this singing enemy on the main path. Just head slightly to the left of them, where you'll find this site of grace. This being the Ancestral Woods grace. We will be coming back here several times, so you may want to pin it. And it's here on the map. Now, you can head south to do next step of Ranni's quest. You can do this main section for a remembrance boss, or you can head north for the aqueducts. That is the path to Ranni's quest. Heading pretty much straight north, maybe a bit northeast, is how you get to the aqueducts. I will be showing how to do both of those, but that's after this little section. So before doing this main part, we're actually going to head down here, slightly to the right of east, back kind of the way we came, but we're going to continue following this path until we can drop down onto here, as this is a little side section. So we are just going to take a few somewhat risky drops down, but they're pretty easy. And here you will get the Clarifying Horn Charm +1, a talisman that boosts your resistance to sleep and madness. You will also get a Celestial Dew. From there you can head out and take a right, where you can then go down this pathway. Near the end, you can grab a Smithing Stone 5 and then take a U-turn, where you'll then find this little broken patch that you can head down. Then you can drop down onto this slope to make it down onto the ground level. Now, there are a few things over there in those two little sections, but nothing really notable. So for the sake of time, we are just going to continue heading slightly left of north, where we will find this Dragonkin Soldier boss. Defeating them gets you 16,000 runes and the Dragon Halberd. This is a halberd with a unique version of Spinning Slash that enwreaths the weapon with Ice Lightning. Pretty good. And just beyond them, there's this waterfall. If you keep your distance, you can go to this waterfall without aggroing the boss, in case you just want Marika's Scar Seal. A talisman that boosts your mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane stats all by 3 points, but lowers your damage negation. As you can see, it's pretty noticeable. So, a bit of a risk-reward talisman there. But that's all that's down here, so now we can head back to the Ancestral Woods side of Grace. Now, here in this main region, there are 6 of these sconces, and you have to light all 6 in order to gain access to a Remembrance boss. The first one is by the singing enemy, although 2 other enemies show up when you aggro them. So make sure to take care of those 3 enemies. And then light the first fire. From there, you can look southeast and head down this main path for the second sconce. Obelisk, whatever you want to call it. And just past these 2 enemies, off to the left, just before the thing that we dropped down for the last section, just before that, if you take a left and head up, you will find the 3rd obelisk. From there, you can turn around and head back to this main paved pathway, and you can just follow it north all the way to the end. There are a few items sprinkled throughout, so you can grab those if you want. Here, this singing enemy will drop a headpiece in the shining horned headband. In this run, I'm not picking up anything dropped by enemies because I don't want to rely on grinding or luck, RNG, anything like that. But I've gotten this headpiece every single time I've killed them. So I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed. But there we can light the 4th one and head north until we hit this wall where we want to head left. And you'll know you're in the right section when you see a bunch of rats. It is here on the map, near this thing. But you can light this. And then you can jump down onto here and make your way into this section, where you will get a Ghost Glowwort 5, along with a Golden Rune. And from there you can jump up and around and make it back onto land. From there you can head up here, and you should spot this 6th and final obelisk right there on the map. And you'll know that you've gotten all 6 when this pop-up appears. So once you see that, you'll know that you've gotten them all. Nearby there's a Somberstone 5, and if you loosely hug the right wall, you should end up back at the Ancestral Woods side of Grace. If you get lost, you can just teleport back. Don't forget to level up if you can. But from there, you want to head here on the map. So you can pin that if you want. Or I typically know it as just heading northeast and running straight past that singing enemy. You'll see these 6 lit flames, and heading up these stairs, you'll make it to the Hollow Horn grounds, where you should be able to touch the horned remains. This will teleport you to a new location, where you can head through the mist. Now, don't let the visuals or the ambience fool you. This isn't a lore fight or a spectacle fight. This is strangely a DPS check, as the boss can teleport away and heal. So make sure that you're doing big damage when you come in here. They're not a super difficult fight, but if you don't have high damage, they can definitely last a very long time, just through teleporting away and healing. With that being said, it is starting to rain on and off, and I have my window open because it's like 80 degrees. So as this fight plays out, I'm gonna close the window. Killing them rewards you with 24,000 runes in remembrance of Regal Ancestor. From there, you can head back to Ancestral Woods. Because there's still the whole Ranni's quest thing to do. So don't forget to level up. And from there, we are going to jump down here. Now there's also the aqueducts that you can do, but I would suggest doing this first, as the aqueducts is much more difficult. Up here, you can see that enemy spawn in. If you come up to where this rune arc is, and you crouch and run up against this wall, there's a chance that they will walk towards you and then fall to their death. I was lucky enough to have it happen here. And then you can safely jump down. If they don't do that, Don't worry, they're not too difficult. But they have a habit of running backwards, and if you follow them, then you can trigger this enemy and end up in a 1v2. So, however you do it, take those two enemies out, and then you are free to move on to the next section. In here, you can grab the Black Wet Blade. This allows you to apply poison, blood, or occult infusions to your weapons. And from there, you can head into this little hallway where you can spend one stone sword key to open this door. There will be this Nox enemy. If you crouch, you can easily sneak up on them and get a free backstab. Upon defeating them, you can get a smithing stone of 3, but far more importantly, in this chest, you can get the Mimic Tier Ashes. This is widely considered to be the best Spirit Ash in the entire game. And if you've been following along up to this point, you will be able to get it all the way to +5. From there, we can head back and look to the left to jump through this little window. And then in this window, you'll get the Nox Flowing Hammer. And there's this giant orb, boulder ball thing, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty strange, but with range, you can take it down pretty easily. And defeating it gets you a larval tier. Not only is there that ball enemy, but there's also 2 cat girls. So beware, as they're pretty fast. And they have Nightmane's Mist. Now, if you're running a pure melee build, you can just sprint past them and out here because the ball can't make it through this doorway. But however you decide to deal with them, you can then head down the stairs and to the left to get this site of grace. From there, you will have this large area full of these silver tier enemies. There are 3 different ones in this entire combat encounter that turn into an enemy. This first one starts off with a spear and great shield. They are, in my opinion, the most dangerous of the 3. So if you can get past them, then the hardest part is over. The second one here has a Zweihander. Moving on, The third one that transforms is at the very final one. And they transform into a giant troll. If you've been following this run from the very beginning, you'll remember that we took some of these guys out all the way back in the Limgrave with just like a level 10 character and Glintstone Pebble. So they can be intimidating, but they're fundamentally pretty easy. At least for Elden Ring standards. So drop them, and then you are free to make it to the final chest. Where you will get the Finger Slayer Blade and the Great Ghost Glowwort. This teleporter brings you back to Ancestral Woods, Site of Grace. So you can take that if you want. But we are going to be headed back to Ranni's Rise, as the Finger Slayer Blade is the reason we were sent to Nokron in the first place. Do be warned that giving the Finger Slayer Blade to Ranni will kill Selvus. The main thing that you may lose out on here is the Magic Scorpion Charm, which is why we did that earlier. But if you've gotten the Magic Scorpion Charm from Selvus, you are free to give her the Finger Slayer Blade, and you will be rewarded with the Carian Inverted Statue. From there, you can teleport back to reload the area, and then you can go find Selvus's dead body. Where you can get the Preceptor's set. And you can still buy all of his sorceries and purchase the puppets if you want, so don't worry about that. They said the only thing you can actually lose out on is the Magic Scorpion Charm. But his hat gives you 3 points into the Mind stat to the detriment of stamina. So from there, we can head out, and off on the right side, you should pretty quickly find this little rooftop that you can drop down onto. Headed down here, you'll find a Pidia, along with the Dolores Sleeping Arrow Puppet. He's a merchant that you could come to at any time, but he doesn't really sell anything of note. From there, we can head to the Royal Moon Gazing Grounds. And you can head straight forward in order to get through the doorway. And then once again, straight forward to make it up to this rise. Now, this rise was sealed, but becomes accessible after giving the Fingerslayer blade to Ranni. Heading up the ladder, you can do a little U-turn to find a chest containing the Snow Witch set. The set that Ranni wears. And up at the very top of the tower, you'll find a teleporter. This brings you to Einzel River, Maine, where you can pick up the miniature Ranni item and grab this set of grace immediately. Though this is an entirely different area, comparable to Nokron. So we will be saving that for another part. For now, we are going to head down towards this building here. You can go from this grace or this one. They both work. But more people are going to have this side of grace. At least I'm assuming. So that's the one we're going to go from. And I am going to rest and wait until morning, just because it's brighter and therefore a bit more presentable. But from there, we're just going to head towards this building. And you need the Carian inverted statue to make it relevant, because while it is part of Liurnia's open world, there isn't really any reason to go there until this point, which is why we're covering it now. Heading inside, we can get a set of grace. And you can go in normally, but the only thing that's even noteworthy in there is the Cerulean Seed Talisman, which boosts the amount of FP you get from drinking the Flask of Cerulean Tears. Though, in my personal opinion, there are better talismans for any type of build, so not really worth it, especially for how much trouble you have to go through to get it. So I'll tell you that you can go there to get it, but as I said, it's not really worth the time. So we are just going to place the pedestal down and get this cutscene. Oh. In case you're worried about this locking you out of anything, you can remove the statue at any time. So don't worry about that. But headed in, you can see that placing it turns the entire area upside down. Headed inside, we are going to take a left and just make it all the way to the wall so we can safely drop down. Dropping down and turning around, you can get the Mask of Confidence. This is a headpiece that raises your arcane stat by 3 points. And here you can see the main threat of the area. This is Preceptor Miriam. And they mostly have Loretta's Greatbow sorcery, but they also have a Phalanx spell. And they also have some friends to help them out. And as you can see here, they love to magic spam. But they are very dangerous. And if you want to go through the area normally to get the Cerulean Seed Talisman, you'll have to go through Miriam a second time. Which is part of why I say that it's really not worth it. Because it's another thing of magic spam that you have to deal with, along with additional enemies on top of it. And when you do enough damage, you'll actually teleport away. So here, if you have ranged magic, you can just bully them with it. They will try to walk towards you, and they have trouble locking on at this much of a distance. And upon defeating them, you get a completely useless sorcery. If you manage to defeat them in the normal version of this area, you get a different, almost as useless sorcery. It's ever so slightly better, but as I said, it's just not worth it. If you really insist, however, then you can find the Cerulean Seed Talisman in the rafters, but only on the normal version. So if you really want that, look for the rafters. But here, at the very bottom, you can get this elevator, and you can take it all the way down to find a giant door. Head through this door for another cutscene. This will put you on the bridge leading to the Divine Tower. Here you can grab a Site of Grace, and then start making your way across the bridge. This bridge is a pretty good source of ruin fragments, if you care about grinding those a little bit. Here, you can kill them, and you'll be rewarded with their armor set. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to continue headed forwards. At the end of the bridge, you can open this massive door, and that will get you access to this massive elevator. In case you're curious, the ruin fragments are used to craft rainbow stones. These are like the prism stones from Dark Souls or the shining coins in Bloodborne. Not very useful, but they look neat. And if you're having trouble finding your way through like a legacy dungeon, they can help you figure out where you've already been before. But these divine towers, they're normally used to activate those great runes. So this one's a bit unique. It's instead of allowing you to activate a great rune, it has a body, giving you the Curse Mark of Death used for a side quest, and the Stargazer Heirloom Talisman that you can equip to gain +5 to your intelligence stat. Now from here, you can head back to the Ancestral Woods, but before doing that, we're going to head back to the Roundtable Hold. From here, you can go over and talk to Roger. He should be asleep by now, and you need to talk to him a few times in order to progress his thing. Next, we are going to speak to Fia. You want to talk in secret. And then you want, may I ask a favor? This will get you the Weathered Dagger. From there, you want to teleport back, just to save yourself some time and to reload the area. Use the Baldigan's Blessing. Talk to D, and give him the Weathered Dagger. From there, you can talk to Roger once again, and then you can reload the area again. This allows you to talk to Roger again, but it also opens that door off in the distance. This is a good time to level up any Spirit Ashes if you want, but the reason we reloaded the area again was because it puts Fia and D here. So you can talk to Fia, we will have some dialogue, and D will be here to give you the twinned armor set. This is useful for a side quest coming up. We are going to reload the area one more time, and Roger should be dead, giving us the Spell Blade set. And from there we can head back to the Ancestral Woods for the final time. Don't forget to level up if you can, as there's a very difficult boss coming up. But from here you can just head straight north. And you want to look for that giant pillar structure. Once you get close to that, you want to take a right, headed east. You'll know you're in the right spot when you see these floating jellyfish. And by this big tree, you want to take a right and head up onto here. That can be a little confusing, but that gets you the Muddled Necklace +1, boosting your resistance to every type of status except Deathblight. But it is here on the map, if you want to pin that to make it a bit easier. But from there, we want to continue following the jellyfish, where we can take a drop and turn around, get a free stone sword key, and then we can start making our way down. There's a set of grace here that you'll want to pick up. Then headed down here, there will be a Crucible Knight. You can kill them to guarantee to get their shield. But we're just going to move past them and up these stairs. From there, we can head straight forward through this doorway, where there will be 3 of these small enemies. Moving past them, you'll find some stairs headed down, and a scarab that gives you a pretty worthless incantation. Though there are 2 different poppable golden runes here. So we're going to grab those. From there, we can head back and towards that Crucible Knight. Crucible Knights are not to be messed with, as they are very dangerous. That poke attack, the running poke, has deceptively long range. So be careful of that. And also beware of that attack, as the timing can be pretty strange, and it is extremely dangerous. But if you can defeat them, you'll be rewarded with a guaranteed Somber Stone 6. From there, you can safely pick up the Smithing Stone 5, and then continue down this pathway. There will be some enemies hidden behind this waterfall. So taking them out, you can get a Smithing Stone 4. And then there's a side path with a few enemies. Taking them out should fill your flasks back up and reward you with a rune arc. On the other side, there's this slightly more open section with an NPC. Give him the twinned armor set, and up these stairs, you should find a golden summon sign for the Beholder of Death. If you liked that armor set, don't worry, you will get it back. But if you upgraded a Spirit Ash like Mimic here, you may want to use it here, as this boss is extremely dangerous for a variety of reasons. They can dodge spells, they have strange timings, they have strange hitboxes, they have gap closers. They have long-ranged attacks. They can change their focus in an instant. They have high health and damage. They have 2 different weapons, which means double the moveset to keep track of. They have very high damage AoEs. Oh, did I mention that this is actually a duo fight as well, to make it even more difficult? But all of that still doesn't cover what makes them the most dangerous. You see, they have this attack where they spew poison onto the ground, and it's kind of difficult to see where the poison is, so what's dangerous and what's safe. You can see it there. But not only does it give you poison, but it also damages you, and it does pretty good damage at that. So, this is a very, very dangerous boss. But hopefully you can bring them down. And doing so, you will get 22,000 runes, the Gargoyle's Greatsword, and the Gargoyle's Twin Blade. Then, near the Site of Grace, you will find a coffin that you can enter for a few cutscenes. This brings you to Deeproot Depths, and there will be a Site of Grace immediately. Now, just like with Ainsel River Main, there's actually two ways to get here. There's two ways to get to both locations, and I'll be showing how to get, like, the other way to get to both locations. But with that being said, we went through the entirety of Nokron. We're going to end it here. We did Ranni's quest, at least a good chunk of it. And from here, you can do Altus Plateau, the Dragon Barrow, the underground section of Ainsel River Main, or the underground section of Deeproot Depths. For a few reasons I won't get into here, we are going to be doing Deeproot Depths next. But with that being said, I hope you found this to be educational. I hope you found it to be entertaining. And, yeah.